What is going on, you guys? Today we're going to talk about negativity and why negativity should never be considered a fuel source, why anger is never a motivational emotion, and why it's purely destructive. Now, first of all, let's start off by saying anger is more so like a low vibrational state. What are we talking about? Vibration, hoo-ha, what's it, like Shibuya. What is what I'm talking about, vibration, right? I mean, basically, what I want to say is that anger is often conflated with a lot of other emotions. Maybe like disgust or, contempt. There's a lot of different emotions. They're all negative emotions, though. And that's what I mean by vibration. Are you going to be on a frequency that's, filled with hate, filled with anger, or do you want to operate from a place that's filled with love and comes from a place of gratitude? They're two extremely different views on how to live your life, and it's pretty obvious which one you're in just by examining your inner state of being at the present moment, right? Are you full of hate? Are you full of anger? Are you full of contempt? Or are you full of just like bliss, solid, like kind of just like this general state of peace and calm? First of all, I want to say that if you've ever been in nature, or you ever try to reconnect with nature by going on a hike or a long walk, you'll understand how peaceful it truly is to just be lost in nature for a while and to hear the sounds of your surrounding environment and to blend in with that. It truly is a calming state of being. And why am I saying all this? It's because, when I think about, I'm thinking specifically about visualization, about trying to make myself into a better person. And over the next year, I want to truly work on that. So when I start to think about why I want to do this, I start inevitably thinking about my past. And so I want to become a better person so that I don't allow the things that happened to me in the past to happen to me again. I want to become a better person because, I was angry. See, that's where I want to stop. It's like I'm fine with being a better person to prevent something from happening again, but to become a better person and then to say that you want to do it from a place of anger, like, you see how that they don't mesh. Becoming a better person inherently means forgiving and letting go of anything that has happened to you in the past, right? To operate from a place of, this happened to me, so I got to be filled with hate. And it's really not a motivational force, and it's easy to think that it is because it fills you up with this energy, but that energy is cortisol. The energy is not like dopamine, it's cortisol. It's your brain thinking that there's a threat because whatever happened to you in the past before that made you feel like down on yourself, or that you weren't, whatever it is, right? Because I don't even want to think about that is a threat in your mind. So then to bring that memory consciously back up, and to also, rather than to disarm this memory and just say that this is not a threat because it doesn't exist anymore, because blah blah blah, all these things in the present moment, bring yourself back in the present moment, and as to why the past doesn't matter. If you instead go and say, hey, this did affect me, and you're constantly bringing it up again in your mind for you to feel that same emotion of cortisol, it's not a good thing, because a lot of the times, I think, especially in regards to myself, I think I was almost addicted to using cortisol or to using negative emotions in order to get myself to become, a stronger person. When stronger really meant just the ability to, act out upon a short burst of energy. That's not really true strength, It's just something that you kind of do in your head that kind of makes you angry, and it's not really cool either. It doesn't make you lift more, actually. It just makes you feel like you're having like a lot of maybe control or energy, but it's just a feeling rather than the truth. So, I mean, there's a lot of tangents I can go off of right now, but the main one that I really want to talk about, again, is bringing yourself back to that place of positivity and neutrality specifically, because it's really easy to be a fake positive. When something deeply inside of you is actually still bothering you, you can just fake being positive, and faking it till you make it doesn't necessarily work like that because of how your subconscious operates. It's not like you just simply forget about something. It'll manifest in your subconscious, and specifically, if you become more aware, you'll understand the impact and the power of dreams. and how this affects your subconscious, because you may have in your waking day, a bunch of positive thoughts, and you may be strong, and you may be, acting with righteousness perfectly. Not perfectly, because none of us are perfect, but you know what I mean. And then it comes to nighttime, or it comes to when you actually fall asleep, and if you're aware and you wake up in the middle of the night, or you wake up in the morning and you understand what dreams you actually had, it's very important to look at those dreams specifically just because they often show the remnants of what you may have missed before in the past. Not for you to go back and to dwell on it, but for you to go back and look at it and examine it and disarm it so that it is no longer an issue. I just feel like that's a really important mental reframe. Excuse me, I don't have a tissue right now. Every time I talk, I always have to blow my nose. But it's a really important mental reframe just because of how anger and that stuff, it's a sickness. It does not work well. And it's really tricky. It's really dangerous, especially when you're operating from a place of anger and wanting to almost show someone up, it's just not it, you know what I mean? And there's a time and a place to do it, There's genuine competition, and this is separate. I think genuine competition is separate, because in competition and in martial arts, you have respect for your opponent. You have a deep respect for your opponent because you understand that they are yourself ultimately, That's the core thing that separates, I think, bottomless anger from true strength, It's that when you have so much contempt or something for another person, that's not competition in any sense. No, you're not understanding that the other person is also a person. You know what I mean? And this is a critical thing to understand. Without getting into weird stuff, I'm not gonna call you let's just presume, for instance, right now, right, that you and I, whoever it is that's watching this video, you and I are both a normal person, right, that can think for themselves and has free will and the whole 9 yards, right? In this situation, right, when I'm talking to you as the viewer, do you really think that I would, I don't know. I don't know. This is the kind of a weird situation, right? But it's do you really think that I would, for instance, take something of yours? Let's say I do take something of yours. Do you really think that I am you in that instance, right? Unless you're a thief, in which case we both ain't shit. So I guess in this sense, it does kind of, you meet the person that you're at the level at, right? But that's pretty important too, because you want to meet a person at your level, and you want to be also at a specific level that does not include complete disrespect and all that. It's not just disrespect though. What am I exactly saying? It's not disrespect, because it's anger. Because disrespect is, you can disrespect someone and not be angry at them, right? That's just the game. But truly being angry at someone indicates that you've lost the game, because you've allowed them to control you. Regardless of what you do and regardless of what you think is great, if it is born out of your anger, it means that you're doing it out of someone else's control rather than your own. And I'm sorry for being a little bit confusing a minute ago. I was just trying to find a good example. But pretty much do you really think that if I stole something of yours and you are not a thief, that I am the same as you? No, right? I would be worse than you, right? But would you be angry at me? Yeah, you'd most likely be angry at me. Okay. Where's that gonna get you in your own life? You know what I mean? And this is an important thing. You have to stay safe. You know what I mean? You have to really stay safe and just protect yourself and your belongings, right? But in the case of a divorce, for instance, I haven't gone through a divorce, but men who have gone through a divorce, they lose so many things, right? And they come to the same conclusion, I believe, whereas that you can't do anything about it out of a place of anger, and even if you go and fuck another girl, that doesn't change the fact that, you know, you built something up and then you lost it, and it doesn't change the fact that you still have to build something up from the scratch again. So that's really why it's important to, I really don't know what I'm saying. That's why it's so important to operate from a place of joy and love, I think. That this is the 10-minute video. I'm gonna watch this again. If it's good, then I'm gonna post it, and I love you guys. If it's not, then man, catch you though.